Alrighty guys, it is another week. It is January 27th. It's around 4:30 p.m. It's a Tuesday, so I didn't really end up filming too much yesterday, but just a quick little update over the past 2 days. So yesterday and today, I'm pretty busy. So I didn't really end up updating you guys in the last video towards the end, but I ended up getting a job offer at that, nice restaurant that I went to as sort of, assistant, helping out the waiters in terms of, clearing plates, setting up tables, just basic things like that. But I've actually had 2 days of training, one yesterday, one today, that I've been going to. That's, after school from around like 5 to 10 p.m. Usually around 5 to 9 p.m. I'd say. So that's actually what I'm doing today. So been pretty busy the past few days because I'm pretty much just, wake up in the morning, head to school, get my homework done at school or after school if I have time, go to the gym, and then head right over here, go to bed, and then repeated that over the past, day or two. So that's sort of what I've been up to. That's sort of my plan for today. Now I'm gonna just get changed and head over, around 2-3 minute walk from where I am parked right now, and get to work. So far it's been pretty good. I've been enjoying it, learning it, being in an environment, staying busy, seeing how a restaurant operates, seeing various different roles. It definitely gives me an appreciation. I used to go to restaurants and sit down and sort of just, you don't really think about everything that goes into it and the amount of work that's behind it. By, amazing, very kind people, everyone I've met so far is incredibly kind, hardworking. And, you don't really think about that, how much really goes into it. So that's been, pretty cool to see. That is that. And then obviously tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then over the weekend, I'll have some more free time. So I'm sure I'll film more and share a little bit more about what I've been looking into, what I've been thinking about. But, aside from that, that's sort of just been that. Also just been continuing my meditation practice with that app called Waking Up by Sam Harris. It's been great. I've been doing that every single day. It's been fairly useful. I found it to be pretty useful. One thing I want to add, actually, I didn't add it in the last video because I was editing the last video when I thought about this. So I thought I'd add in this one is, one sort of interesting thing that I've learned from filming these videos, even just for, 2-3 weeks, is how much really happens within a week. Even though it's not like I've done a bunch of stuff. It's like when I looked back on those videos, the last video I was editing, I was like, wow, like that was just 6 days ago. It seems like it could have been 2 weeks ago when you think about it. So it's kind of interesting because obviously when you look back on a year, it's like, wow, it flew by. But then when you look at it over like, wow, what you did over a week, you're like, dang, if you work every single day, work hard, and it's like, dang, time sort of goes by and things sort of happen. And one more update today, I actually found out in that my past video too, I made that video with my friend for the pitch competition, and we are making it to the final round. So the last round will be us hopping onto a call with a group of interviewers to sort of ask us questions, give a live presentation, things like that. So that's also some great news, a little update in terms of that. That's pretty much it for today. I may update you guys afterwards, but I am going to be finishing a little later tonight, so I might just end up filming some more tomorrow. That is that, and either I'll see you later tonight or I'll catch you back tomorrow. Guys, it is Sunday, February 1st, around 3 p.m. Outside walking around. It's quite windy, but just thought I'd film this real quick while I'm on a walk. This Friday, I think I might have talked about it in my previous video. I actually found out Tony Robbins. I'm very famous, life coach. I mean, he's probably one of the best in the world at what he does. And I found out he was hosting this event. It's a free event. It was online for 3 days. I think it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I ended up, tuning into it, watching it, and I found it to be, really, really quite impactful. I definitely sparked quite some emotion and a drive in me. And probably one of the biggest things that I got from it, and something I want to work on, is, just raising, my energy. When I was looking back on some of my other videos, when I'm talking to the camera, I'm almost kind of like quiet and it's kind of boring and, this and that. And, the event, it was definitely, really inspiring, motivating, took away some great strategy from it. I ended up doing that, and then something kind of crazy happened. I thought I'd share this story. It was, I believe, what was it? Was it Friday or Saturday? I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. Yeah, on Friday, on the second of the event, I was watching and I got, really pumped up and inspired and motivated. And I, watched these, sort of got excited about things. And all of a sudden I was like, I'm not just going to take this event and just, watch it and not actually do anything, not apply anything. And all of a sudden I got this crazy just drive and spark of motivation. I don't even know where the heck it came from. And I came up with an idea, and I don't even know where the idea came from, because it's not like a goal of mine is to become some crazy athlete or crazy runner. But I just thought, hey, this might be a pretty cool challenge to run from my house nonstop to pretty much the southern tip of my town, which is roughly a 15-mile run, and it would be a little over a half marathon, which, for reference, before this, I never even ran more than, I think, 6 miles nonstop in my life. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to do this. So I go and I have a banana and I put on my shoes. So I start running. And I end up, it was quite the journey, but it was pretty crazy because the entire time I didn't even feel like I was fighting with myself. I was just so inspired and excited and motivated, and I just enjoyed it. And there were parts of it where my body was like literally, obviously in pain and sore, but I was just so euphoric and joyful and just sort of laughing along the journey. It was quite crazy. Yeah, I ended up actually finishing it. I had my goal in mind of exactly where I want to stop. It was the southern tip of my town, and I reached it after about 2.5 hours. It was 15 miles, and yeah, the sun was already down, and it was very, very rewarding. And I ended up taking an Uber back home and then meeting with some friends afterwards for dinner. Actually, it worked out perfectly. We actually went to an Italian restaurant, so I was able to get some carbs right afterwards. But definitely quite a great experience, and I thought I'd share that because it's not something that you do often. Just run more than a half marathon like that, with no preparation, just off the cuff from that. Honestly, I guess it was maybe from that live event that just, motivated me and inspired me so much. I don't even know where it came from, but the biggest lesson from that is, number one, the power of the mind, how much control that your mind has over your life and your decisions, right? Like, I could have stopped that run at any time, but just because my mindset was in such a great place and I believed in myself and I had a clear goal, and I told myself there's absolutely no possibility. I don't care if I have to walk and I get to the southern tip at midnight because I have to walk. Like, I'm going to get there. And I guess because of that, I got it. So I guess that's probably one of the lessons. I mean, there's a few lessons. Another lesson I got from that run is, because honestly, a long run can almost be a metaphor for any goal in life. Because it's a journey, and you start and you're all excited, and then there could be moments where you're like, oh crap, like this is actually it, and I got to keep pushing through it. And then towards the end, you're getting there and you're dragging your feet, and then you get to the goal and then you're celebrating. Another lesson from that I learned is things might take longer than you expect. And I think that's okay. I mean, with all sorts of goals that people have, people think they might achieve it within, a month. And it's okay to, or a month or two, and it might end up taking a year. And I think obviously, push forward towards your goals with whatever ambition and urgency it takes, but also be okay with the fact that it might take longer than you expect. And I think that's okay. By the time I think I reached, there were definitely moments where I was like, oh crap, I thought I'd already be here by now, and I'm not even there yet. But either way, I was like, I'm just going to keep going, So definitely a pretty crazy experience, and I'm very proud of myself for doing it. And looking back on it, I have no idea where the hell that spark even came from. I thought I'd share that because it surprised myself, and I definitely grew from that and learned a lot from that, and it was a very, very fun experience. That's pretty much it for this week. Thought I'd share it. It's now the month of February, pretty crazy. It's already been 1 month out of 12 of 2026. Time's flying. Yeah, that is that, and I will see you guys next week, and hopefully next week I'll have a little bit more to share. I don't know if this works, but I just ran 14 fucking miles. I had a goal in my mind, and I made it to the very end of holy shit. You can do anything you want. Let's go. I did it. 14 miles, 2.5 hours. I had a goal in my mind. I focused on it. I didn't let my mind get to me. I didn't let distractions get to me, and I achieved what I wanted.